Neil, can you start us off by giving us your team news?
Well, Izagirre's out for 6 weeks, so he had a scan yesterday. Rania, he's looking at 2 weeks with a calf strain. James Forrest, he'll be out for a week or two as well with a hamstring strain. Lassad, groin strain. Samaras is hopeful, and Hooper's very, very doubtful. So we're a little bit stretched.
How disruptive is that news to your preparations for this game?
Well, it's hugely disruptive because they're big players, and have been for quite a while here, and they would have been, pivotal to the way we wanted to play tomorrow. However, we have good strength and depth, and we will still have a very strong team to play tomorrow evening.
Neil, given how well Samaras has played and given all the other injuries you've got, how important is it that he does make it?
Well, regardless of the other injuries, it's important that he makes it anyway. He's been very unlucky with injuries this season because his form's been excellent coming into the season in the qualifiers and certainly in the early part of the season he was playing very well. He had the bad elbow injury playing for Greece, sat him back 3 to 4 weeks, and obviously he came back for Barca and played very, very well up until he picked up the ankle injury. So even if the rest of those players were fit, Samaras would have been very important to us, and we're hoping he's going to make kick-off.
Already a big dilemma of how do you solve a problem like Barcelona, but considering that injury dilemma you now face, how important is the 12th man on your 125th anniversary? Yeah, I mean it's a great occasion for the club. Today is our anniversary and something that we're very proud of. And tomorrow night will be a very special evening with all the ingredients of one being in the Champions League, two playing arguably the best team in the world, and three, the anniversary of our club. It's a pivotal year for us, and it's a year of celebration for us as well. And this would be, the crowning glory in that year. How do you solve a problem like Barcelona? You have to play at your very, very best. You have to play full concentration and with great intensity. And sometimes even then that's not enough. But certainly with a full house tomorrow night, and I'm sure the neutrals will enjoy the atmosphere and the energy that our supporters bring to the game, then it should be a great night for the club.
Neil, I can imagine there's great excitement in the build-up to this game. Just going by your body language, has the injury situation put a real dampener on things for you?
It's put a dampener for the players because everyone wanted to play in this game, and with the likes of Forrest and Izagirre in particular, who are going to miss the game, definitely going to miss the game. They would have been probably playing in the game and would have been important to what we wanted to do. But like I said, the squad's strong, and the majority of the players are in good form. We played very well in Barcelona, despite what some people thought of the performance. And a home venue, our record's good. The crowd will lift the players, they'll inspire the players, and I'm hoping that the players do themselves justice on the night. Just the disappointment of the injuries, it's not mine, it's the players personally and individually. Well, I wasn't angry with the accusations, I was disappointed. I've watched Barcelona on many occasions. I've even watched games recently where they've played away from home and dominated possession to the point where it's 70-30. In some games against Real Madrid and Chelsea, it was at times in the game 80% in favour of Barcelona. Now, we have no reason to expect to have the bulk of possession, so we accept that we will concede ground, concede the ball at times, because they are the best in the world at keeping possession, and they have proved that consistently at the highest level for the last 7 or 8 years. We never ever at Celtic set out to be defensive. We tried to go with a realistic game plan of trying to get something out of the game. I went with 2 strikers, Samaras and Hooper, and unfortunately when Samaras got injured, half of our attacking threat was blunted. So we had to change the system a little bit to accommodate the substitutions.
And yeah, I was disappointed with some of the accusations levelled at the team's performance, because Barcelona force you to play that way. You do not go out to play that way, and other teams have been on the back foot, and better teams than us with better players. So I was very proud of the team's performance, and we almost came away with a superb result. It wasn't to be, and I said after the game, on the balance of play, Barcelona did deserve to win the game, but we should have come out of the game with an enormous amount of credit.
Neil, what do you make of the theory that it doesn't really matter what happens tomorrow night, it's all about the 2 games that follow that?
No, I don't believe in that. I think tomorrow night's important. If we can get something out of the game, it will give us a really strong foothold in the group. And we can't think about what will happen in Benfica with the Benfica-Spartak game. We want to get a positive result out of the game tomorrow night. We know it's going to be hugely difficult. Barcelona they've made the best start to a league campaign, I think, in probably the history. They've won all their games in the Champions League so far. So we are under no illusion how difficult the game is going to be. But we are going to compete. We are going to play. We aren't going to leave ourselves open. We can't allow to go too gung-ho or make the game open, because Barcelona will pick us off, as they have done to many teams over the years. The expectation level on our team will be increased because we are at home and our record is good, but we have to be careful, and we have to play as concentrated as we did in the corresponding fixture away. The other point I would like to make regarding the performance in Spain and in Barcelona was people haven't touched upon the fact that we went to Moscow and we scored 3 goals away from home to win the game, and we set about more or less with the same personnel and almost the same formation. It's just that Barcelona are simply better than most other teams at keeping the ball and pinning you in, and I think that sometimes gets overlooked, and I don't think people give Barcelona the amount of credit for the way they play the game. I think sometimes that gets taken too readily for granted.
Neil, if there is a weakness at all in that Barcelona team, is it in the centre of defence where they have had injury problems?
I don't see many weaknesses in the Barcelona team, regardless of who the personnel is. And yes, they may concede the odd goal here and there, but they're quite willing to trade off. I watched them in Deportivo. They scored 5, conceded 4. But I don't think any of the 4 were from open play from a Deportivo player. Yeah, I mean, it's easy to sit on the outside and criticise and look for weaknesses. They are strong in every department. They play the game the way everyone wants to see the game played, and that is taking them a long time to work to that level of high quality football, and it's to be admired. However, we are here to compete. We want to compete. We are very proud to be in this competition, and we're proud of where we are at the minute, and tomorrow night will be a very special occasion for the club and certainly for this group of players.
Neil, given how good Barcelona are, as you've just outlined, and the injuries that you're having to contend with, can I ask what you'd be happy with tomorrow night?
I'd be happy with a win.
Can I ask how realistic you think that is and how you can achieve it?
Anything can happen in football, and what it will take is a concerted effort from all our players, whether we use 11 or 14. And you hope that you can catch Barcelona at times on an off night or at weak moments and capitalise on that. And we have to try and keep the ball better than we did in the new camp, although that's easier said than done. And I expect, like I said earlier, Barcelona to have the majority of possession again, because they do that to every team, and we're no different. However, we will have a huge crowd behind us, and anything can happen on any given night.
We understand, Neil, that Mr. Messi may have brought a little dummy with him to celebrate the birth of his young son. How strong is your hope that he's spitting it out at the end?
Well, we did our best against him in the new camp. He's a wonderful player, probably the best I've ever seen, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people coming to see him play. We will have to be again at our very best to keep Messi quiet, but the team's not just built around Messi, although he is very, very special.
But if you look at Xavi, Fabregas, Iniesta, Pedro, Sanchez, they're all very dangerous players at any given time. But I think, you know, with all the great teams, you want to play against the best, and our players want to play against the best, and they're going to do that tomorrow night, and it can raise your game to another level.
Neil, what have you learned about your own team and about Barcelona from the first game that you can maybe take into this game?
Well, I'm not going to tell the public that. I'll keep that to myself and tell my players that in private. Since the weekend, we've been analysing games, particularly Barcelona playing away from home. Obviously the Benfica game and the Chelsea semi-final last year. And we will look to see if there are weaknesses in their game and look to try and exploit that again. I do not know. I don't have a crystal ball. I have no idea which way the game will go. But one thing I can say is that Barcelona will find their rhythm in the game, and they will pass and move and try and wear us down like they do with every other team. They don't change. You know, they force other teams to change, and that's maybe what we'll have to do again tomorrow.
Scott was obviously speaking to us there, and he says that when that's in play, is it 3 games in the space of a week now? He seems to think he's getting over the worst of it. Is this just come at a good time for you, given the other injury problems that you have?
Yeah, it's perfect timing, and he's a player I feel he's playing at the top of his game now, and will be very, very important, as he always is to us, and in particular tomorrow evening, where his experience, his quality, his drive is a huge asset for us tomorrow evening. The fact that he's recovering better from his exertions in each game gives us a great source of encouragement, and in particular it's timely because of the injuries we do have now.